We're back on the Monumental Altcast, and we are thrilled to welcome in Marcin Gortat, Wiz legend. Marcin, what's up, man? Thank you for making time for us.
What's up, guys? Glad to see you again.
I like that beard, dude. That thing is a serious growth you got going on there.
Yeah. I mean, a little, different look. I like that. Back in the day, we had a mohawk. Now
That's
I'm
right.
41 years old, so I can't have a mohawk anymore. It gotta be something more serious.
He's got more hair on his eyelashes than I got on my head. What's up with that?
Actually,
He does.
Listen, no, I just gotta get a barber. It's fine. I just get a barber.
I told you
It's a
got all
bad
kinds of
light in
hair. It's
here.
just on the inside. That's all.
Hey, Marcin, what's it like for you to get to reconnect with Buck and Phil, who, called so many games? They were a part of the team.
They were not only part of the team, but they were part of the team. I mean, you have these two guys. Seeing these two guys together is, first of all, something amazing. They were a big part of our big team, back in Washington, and it was always fun to talk to them, and they were always very professional about everything. Their knowledge was always big about basketball and about basically players in the league. It was fun to see them work with the Wizards for all these years that I was there. And now I see them again.
Yeah.
The most important thing, they're healthy, they look strong, in great shape.
Thank
I love
you.
it. I love
Thank
that.
you. Hey, we had a great relationship when you were there. I remember the very first time and when I asked you how to pronounce your name, because everybody says it differently. And I remember the occasion. We were in Cleveland. We were sitting in the lounge at the Ritz-Carlton after a game.
Correct.
And who was it that was in there you were drinking with? Was that Jan Vesely?
Correct. You remember.
What a memory.
Correct.
So,
you remember
and you
that,
ordered
yes.
the whole bottle of like Chivas or whatever, and you guys sat in there,
Well,
and I
Hennessy,
sat down
it was
with
a
you and I
Hennessy,
said, dude, listen, pronounce your name for me because this is how we do this, and tell me how you say it. And for the rest of the time, when you said Marcin Gortat, and that's how I said it, and that's it, right?
Listen, I mean, you are the one of few people in NBA, actually one of two guys in the NBA, because Stan Van Gundy, he can also pronounce my name correctly, but you speak with the accent like a Polish citizen right now. That's how you speak.
That's a wonderful compliment. Thank you.
Yes.
Marcin, how cool was it? So, obviously you played all over the NBA, 12 seasons, but, at least to me, you almost averaged a double-double here with the Wiz. You were such a key cog on those really good John Wall Beal teams. But also, this is such an international city. I remember coming, didn't you have like Polish night at Wizards games where the embassy would come? What did kind of the international aspect of Washington mean for you?
Oh, the first time when I came to Washington, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of scared because I didn't know what to expect. I was in the beautiful cities first of all, I was in the warm cities like Orlando and Phoenix, and then all of a sudden you're going to Washington. So first of all, I was just kind of like a little scared. I didn't know what to expect, but then the first weeks in the team, they were, like I said, they were great. The city is unbelievable. Multicultural city, a lot of important buildings, a lot of important people over there. Basically, throughout the whole season, I had a lot of different ministers and prime ministers flying over to Washington, and right after doing the political meetings, they were coming to the game. So it was unbelievable. Creating a Polish Heritage Night was also a huge moment for me. The crazy thing is that the rules in the NBA has changed so much that the team, the organization, is not allowed to give so much exposure anymore like we used to have 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And we tried to do Polish Heritage Night, but unfortunately, because of the NBA rules, a lot of things has changed.
Yeah, he's clearly, he was a rock star, really, is what he's saying.
Totally.
But Marcin, I want you to get to the point where you came in here, and it just seemed like immediately, some kind of way, you and Gilbert Arenas created some chemistry that it was beautiful to watch you run your pick and rolls. How did that get started?
Not Arenas.
John Wall.
John Wall,
I'm sorry.
Wall. You guys were talking about Gil, but yeah, John Wall. Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, John Wall was one of the best players I ever played with in the NBA. You know, right next to Steve Nash, Grant Hill, you know, Vince Carter, and a few other guys. It took us a moment before we developed, you know, incredible chemistry. Then when we hit the year 4 and year 5, when we developed, we went to extremely high connection, and we created Gortat screen that basically been used until today. Yeah, and a lot of people says like, oh, it's a Gortat screen. You know what? I mean, if I could, I would call that Gortat wall screen, because if not John, there will be never Gortat screen. Let me put it this way. People don't know, but a lot of guys is trying to do Gortat screen. You're not gonna do Gortat screen if you don't have a quick point guard. If you don't have a point guard that understands the game, and if he doesn't understands the angles and the moment when you can do it, when not. And John was a big part of my success, and people just don't understand that.
And you knew a lot of the
John and Brett,
yeah,
and
both
Brett,
of them,
of course.
And of course, you knew the nuances to the game. So when John would throw you a lob pass, I used to love to watch this. You tell me if this is not correct. You'd give a little shove to the guy defending you, knowing that the officials weren't watching that, and that would free you up to catch the ball, and then you could just slam it in. Yes?
Right. Well, it was like that, correct. You had to get a little push to create that separation.
That's right.
Obviously, you know, every 100 possession, I would get a one offensive call. It's not a big deal.
No.
It happens, but, you know, 99 times I will have a pretty much bucket, you know. John knew exactly that I wasn't, you know, Amari Stoudemire type that I would dunk the ball 8 out of 10 times in the game. I was a simple, effective center who get a 2 points the easiest way is possible. You know, get a layup, get a hook, a simple hook. There was nothing special about my game, but I truly believe it was just effective game.
There was one other thing that I thought was special about your game, and I used to talk about this. You knew how to jump center, and you almost got every tip that I can remember, because there's a very fine line of when you can, as they say, steal the tap. And you were really good at that, March. Talk about that.
On the way up?
No, well,
this is something. Listen, that's why you guys were one of the best in the league, if not the best, and that's why you are where you are. You are basically one of the most professional guys, because you remember those details. You know, even that I, you know, average doubles. The second best thing that I was ever doing in my life was stealing those tips, stealing the jump balls.
Yes.
I literally had like 90% winning ratio in the league, and nobody even knows this. You know, nobody even noticed this. But yeah, I mean, that's just, like you said, I wasn't a very high jumper, but I was pretty quick off the ground. I was going off. I was getting that quick elevation over the phone book.
All right, Marcin, speaking of quick, we got a very quick break. Incredible recall, Buck. I got to ask Marcin what his favorite moments in D.C. were when we come back. You're watching Wiz Bulls NBA Cup. We've got Marcin Gortat joining us now. Marcin, you just revealed something about your personal life, your post-NBA life, that is fascinating. Your work as a medical technician with the Polish military and where you're about to head off to. Can you get us all up to speed?
Well, I'm helping out a little bit. I did the training as a military medic, but I'm not officially in the army, but I'm trying to help out my brothers in Ukraine a little bit. And yeah, I've been there a couple times, and there's a chance I might go again.
That is fascinating, man. And I mean, certainly tip our caps to you, the bravery involved.
Stay safe over there, too.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, what were some of your favorite memories from your time playing for the Wiz?
Well, the most favorite memory, the best memory was when they stopped me in front of the White House. Basically, I had 17 police cops, Secret Service cops jumping out of nowhere and pretty much almost arresting me in the second day of my
What happened?
second day after I was traded.
How did that happen? Why did that happen?
Well, I was going to meet my Polish friend from the embassy, and I for some reason I took a couple wrong turns, and the address took me in the wrong direction, and I stopped right in front of the White House, one of the gates actually to the White House compound, and I had like bunch of cops jumping out of nowhere to just to stop me. And I had a guy, the funniest guy was when he jumped, he was walking with a camera like a tourist, and then out of nowhere he pulled the badge out from behind his shirt and pulled the gun and a flashlight on me, and was like, "You gotta stop, get out of the car." And I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Welcome to Washington. Yeah.
Well, welcome to Washington. So I'm glad I'm telling this story now, not the second day after the trade to Washington. But answering your question on a serious note now, obviously all these playoff trips, the playoff trip, when those 2 rounds to the second round, and unfortunately this one specific round where John broke his hand, I think it was against Atlanta.
Yes.
It was such a devastating blow for us. We felt like we can go all the way to the end, at least all the way to the finals, and yeah, I mean, it was just such a bad luck, unfortunately. But yeah, those playoff rounds, they were the best.
Those playoff runs were the best. Another quick break, Marcin. Please stay with us. I got to ask, do you have any stories about these two, about Buck and Phil? Nobody go anywhere. We have the Polish Machine with us, Mr. Marcin Gortat. Did you like that nickname? How did that nickname emerge?
Polish Machine was basically made right at pretty much at the same time when I was called Polish Hammer, and the reason why is because I never get hurt. I was always working hard in the weight room. I was basically never getting tired. I was just running like a well-oiled machine, and they call me Polish Machine,
right.
And that's why I just love this nickname. I think I maybe love this nickname a little bit more than Polish Hammer.
Yeah, that's what you told me, was that you liked the Machine better than the Hammer. I bring up one real quick. Remember when we went to St. Jude in Memphis to visit the kids? This was an amazing story, but I have a golf tournament every year for St. Jude Children's Hospital, 29 years.
Wow.
And
thanks for the invite.
Randy Whitman called us when we were in Memphis, and he called me and he said, "Hey, can you get the team into St. Jude?" The day we had a day off. So I called the folks back here at St. Jude, and we worked it, so we got them in. And we all walked around visiting these kids. And then afterwards, I've got all these pictures of Marcin with his Polish Machine and Polish Hammer sweatbands and visiting the kids. You remember that, March? That was so cool. That kind of stuff is impactful, is it not?
Yeah, it is, and as crazy as it sounds, because of that visit and everything that I learned over there, I actually started donating money over there in the past couple of years, and it wasn't much, but just couple $100 to support the good cause, and always when there's someone in Poland, having those issues, especially cancer issue, that I'm always mentioning. Listen, there's this one hospital in the United States. If you want to go over there, you'll get the best probably treatment in the world, and that trip was something that actually helped me a lot in the long run.
Good.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that's great.
You win just 82 games a year in playoffs, but it's those moments that probably stick with you.
Yeah, for me it is,
absolutely.
absolutely.
And we heard a lot of the players that responded from that, talking about how impactful that was.
One of them was Nene, and we walked around, and he had testicular cancer. So we walked around, and I'm standing next to him, and we walked past one of the chemo rooms, and he looked at me and he said, "I can taste the chemo," because he had the cancer, and he knew what it was like to be in that.
Yeah.
It was amazing, March. I'll tell you what, it was something. It was left an impression for sure.
Hey,
it should be it should be a part of every rookie transition program. Every young guy who's coming into the league is supposed to go over there like day 1 or day 2. They're supposed to go over there, see what's happening, and if you have an issue, if you're tired after the game, if you think you're doing too many practices, just think about these kids, what they're going through, and just honestly, just shut your mouth, don't complain, just work out and play hard. That's all you got to do. Just thinking about these kids, what they're going through in their life, it's just ridiculous.
Yep, that's just incredible. Phil, I want to ask you, while we have Marcin here before we say goodbye, you're a worldly dude. You were at Berkeley during a time of great upheaval. You moved West Coast to East Coast. You've experienced the world. What's it like when there's a player like Marcin Gortat on the team that has this just unique perspective and global view?
Well, I think that's the beauty of, as we say, diversity, because he can bring a different perspective. Like you said, coming from Berkeley, I bring a perspective. Buck from Virginia, you know, and then you start to see not only what you have in common, but what you can learn from each other and how you can develop. And that's the beauty of being a part of a team. I know when I first got here back in '71, there was Gus Johnson, there was Earl Monroe,
sure,
John Tresvant, Kevin Lockley, Jack Marin, and each one of these brings a different view, a different perspective that is developing.
And Marcin, to that point, what was it like for you to be a young man in a foreign country and grow up really in the NBA?
Well, I had a lot of mentors. I had a lot of great coaches that were guiding me throughout my career. But I remember those days when I would go back in the plane when we were flying back home or flying actually to the game somewhere on the road, and I was traveling all the way from the front of the plane all the way to the back to sit down either with Buck or Phil, or sit with strength conditioning coaches and just talk about different things. Phil is a big part of Wizards family and the history, and just being able to speak to Phil about a lot of things that was happening in Washington was big. I also felt like it's my responsibility as a Polish citizen to leave the mark here in Washington and just bring a lot of my culture to the team. And that's why I did the Polish Heritage Nights. I did all the cheerleaders coming into the game, and I, after the games, I was able to sit down with those 1,500, 2,000 Polish fans in the stands, and I try to bring the same thing that I was basically educated from all the guys around the team.
I love that. Marcin, we got to let you go, but I'm guessing, is this your Zoom room? Is this where you do a lot of your kind of virtual meetings from?
Also, but this is mainly my gaming room. Okay. I'm having fun here.
There's a couple things behind you that I gotta figure out what they are.
I know, it's I know, right here.
Yeah, is that a golden rhinoceros? What do you got there?
It's actually, it's kind of like a pig, and it's split it in half. It's kind of it's supposed to hold the documents or the books, hold the books together. I do have the book holder. I just don't have the books yet.
And then the other one over your right shoulder, that looks like a cash counter.
Yeah, but I'm all about business. You know that. These guys know. Hey, ask Buck and Phil. Every time when I show up on the court, it's all about business. We ain't playing games over there.
I love it.
This is all about business.
Buck, you say goodbye, man.
Hey, man, we love you, and I hope you're healthy. Stay healthy. Congratulations on everything. Phil and I loved being a part of your career and calling your games. So.
Congrats on the wedding.
Give him a little Polish.
Me?
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys.
I didn't learn any Polish.
How do we say goodbye in Polish, Marcin?
Goodbye. Dobranoc.
Dobranoc. Dobranoc, Marcin
Gortat. Again, like true Polish citizen.
See you, pal.
Thank you, man.
Take care, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.